Hello video marketers, in today's tutorial we're going to be talking about how you can record and film your video. So this video is part 3 in the series of how to start video marketing 10-minute tutorials. Be sure to check out episodes 1 and 2 if you haven't seen them already. If you're looking to up your knowledge on video marketing, then please consider subscribing to the channel. We make how-to videos, tip videos, tutorials and live courses every single week to help you to get started with video marketing. If you think someone can benefit from this video, please remember to share it with them. In today's video we're going to talk about how to record your footage. So firstly we'll look at how we can use our episode plan to record footage more effectively. Secondly, we'll look at the key elements that determine how the video will look, sound and feel to your audience. And thirdly, we'll talk about some practical tips for how to record footage effectively. In our plan, we've defined each segment of our video. We know what the viewer is going to see, what they're going to hear, and what they're going to feel. So we might have written a word-for-word script, so our actors or ourselves, if we're in the videos, we know exactly what we're going to say. Or we might have a bullet point list from which we will deliver the key points to camera and we'll edit thereafter. Whether it's a verbatim script or a bullet point list or anything in between, it doesn't really matter. As long as we've got our plan and we've got an idea about what we're going to say, who we're going to say it to, what we want them to see, how we want them to feel and what we want them to hear, then we're ready to start filming. So now let's talk about the elements that make up the video. So first of all, the setting. So where are you physically going to film? Outside, if you're going to be in an office, in a casual office, if you're going to be in an open plan office, in a public area somewhere, the setting is really important because it sets the tone and the feeling of the video, and it's typically the first thing that the viewers are going to see. Think about the format and the message you're trying to achieve and pick an appropriate setting. Thirdly is wardrobe. So is it important to you how you look? Are you going for a very formal look? Are you going for a very casual look? Are you going for something in between? Do you need characters that are going to be dressed up? So think about your wardrobe before you start to go and film and produce. And thirdly is props. Do you need something that's going to add value to your video? If it's going to be something that supports the message you're trying to achieve and helps you to convey information, then great. Try not to use props just for the sake of it. Think about your background. Is it going to be an important part of the scene? If you're going for the look of person in the office, then you need to have an office style background. You can have green screens where you can overlay a background of your choice as part of the editing process, and we'll talk about that in another video. Think about a background that's either going to support what you're trying to do or at the very least not distract from it. I'm in my garden shed now and it kind of works. The background doesn't distract from the message and the ambient light is quite good. So let's go on to recording tips just now, and talking of light, let's start with that one. There are broadly 2 types of light you can use when filming. Firstly is ambient light, so that's quite simply the light, the natural light that's around you. We can use studio lighting to support our lighting, and we can arrange the lighting in and around us. And we can use umbrellas to reflect the light in the way that we want to. And we can even use diffusers to soften the light. Typically we want to be well lit up and visible to the viewer, and whether that comes from ambient light or some form of direct light, it doesn't really matter. Again, we'll touch on lighting in another video. So the frame, so this really refers to the picture that the viewer is seeing. So we can have a close-up, we can have a medium, and we can have a wide. So let's talk about equipment for a moment. Depending on your format, you're either going to be using a mobile setup, a desktop-based setup, or a studio-based setup. So if you're creating content out and about, if you're vlogging or you're recording an event, you might be using some form of mobile device. The key with mobile is getting the frame correct. First of all, we don't want the frame to be in any way shaky. Most of the advanced smartphones reduce the shakiness of the video automatically, but if we want to further improve the way that we can hold a frame with a mobile device, then we would use some form of selfie stick or mobile tripod. When recording mobile footage, we always need to be careful with the sound. Obviously we want some form of microphone. At the very least it's going to be earphones or earpods. Preferably it would be some sort of mobile mic connected to the mobile phone. If we've got a kind of format that involves being at a desktop, whether we're running some form of screen sharing based tutorial, or possibly we're recording a video podcast or a video interview or a video demonstration of some kind. If we're based at our desktop, we've just got to consider a microphone connected to our desktop. What are we going to use to capture video? Is it going to be the onboard camera, or are we going to connect a more advanced camera to our desktop? And then what software are we going to use to record both the sound tracks and the video tracks so that we can edit them thereafter? If we're in a studio, it's likely we're going to have some high quality cameras, high quality tripods and high quality microphones available to us. So it's probably going to be easier for us to go for that high quality video, high quality sound output that a highly produced video would probably want to require. So whether you're mobile, desktop or studio based, it's really dependent on what type of format you're going for and how important the audio visual quality is versus the flexibility that something like mobile and desktop based recording is going to give you. I think the key thing here is that it's not that mobile's better than studio is better than desktop or any other version. It's really what is the format that you're going for, what is the feel and the message that you're trying to convey, and pick the most appropriate setup for your particular objective. And then the final set of tips are for you or for the people who are going to be standing in front of the camera. It's really about cultivating your personal style. When we're talking about marketing videos, 9 times out of 10, whether it's us or some other subject, when we're asking them to stand in front of the camera, we're actually asking them to be themselves. And therefore, the best piece of advice I can give you is be yourself. Don't try and act and be someone else. Authenticity is a buzzword that's thrown around a lot, but it's absolutely true that when you're delivering content to a camera, if you are being yourself and you are being authentic, the message, the power of the message will be that very much stronger. And so that's easier said than done. How can you be comfortable standing in front of a camera, effectively talking to yourself most of the time? Well, like most things in life, it comes down to practice. So if you've got your bullet points or you've got your script, if you can practice that in front of a mirror or in front of the camera in advance of shooting for real, that will really help you to capture the footage in a more effective way. The final point's a challenge for many people, and it's this. In front of camera, you have to be a more animated version of yourself than you normally are. And the reason is this, is because when viewers are watching film or recorded footage of any kind, they will typically disengage more than they would in real life. And so what this means is, although it's very important that we be ourselves and we be authentic in our approach, we absolutely must be animated in our approach, and we can't be overly bland, because if we're overly bland, it's going to seem excessively bland when it comes to being viewed by your viewers. So when you're filming or recording your marketing video, you need to think about 3 groups of things. First of all, you have to have your episode plan. So do you know what segments are going to make up your video? Do you know what you want to say? Do you know what the viewers want to see? Do you know how you want them to feel, and what are the key messages you want to get across? That's your plan. So then you need to understand the key aspects that make up the frame of the video. So what's in the background, what's in the foreground, what are people hearing, what are people wearing, what are the props, if any, that are going to be used. And then you need to have an understanding about how the subject, or whether it's you yourself who are recording, how you're going to deliver the content. Have you practiced the content? Do you have a script? Do you have bullet points? And in what style are you going to deliver them? Practice, practice, practice makes perfect when it comes to that final point. So that's it from this 10-minute tutorial on how to record yourself. We spoke about how to use your episode plan. We spoke about the key elements that make up the visual aspects of recording video, and then we spoke about some practical tips for recording video. If you found this video useful, please consider sharing it with someone you think might also be able to find value from it. If you're not already, please consider subscribing to the channel. We make tip videos, tutorial videos, and live course videos with love from us to you. And don't forget, there's a strategy planning template completely free that associates this series, and you can find a link to that somewhere in the notes and the comments below. Thank you for watching the Start Video Marketing channel. My name's Elliott King, and I'll see you in the next video.